Good morning, folks. It's Cornell with YouTube Fishing Vids. Well, it has begun. I'm sleepy-eyed in the town of Townsville, Virginia. We're all hooked up, ready to take care of business with the first FLW BFL tournament of the season down here at Bugs Island. Excited as I can be. So I've got the hookup. I've got an absolutely awesome hookup. Beautiful sunrise in front, and behind me, I've got my buddy Paul's Ranger. And on top of that, I've got this killer setup, this killer hookup. A buddy of mine has this trailer out here in Townsville, and it is absolutely awesome. It's a modest looking deal, but I'm going to share with you what you all could possibly have an opportunity to jump in on, because he's got this thing available for you bass fishermen. First of all, right off the bat, what it comes down to is he's got hookups. He's got a total of 8 plugs for you guys. If anybody ever wants to come down here and hook their boats up, a group of guys, wait till you see how many people this sleeps. So he knows what he's doing when it comes to taking care of business. He took care of business big time in here. So let me turn this around. Take a look what we got. What's up, Paul?
Hey, man.
We're going to take care of business, do a little tour of this spot. New floors, new ceilings, rod holders, information about boat ramps. How close and how close are we? We're 2 minutes from one of the easy ramps to hit up without even a ramp fee. So we got the big screen TV up in the corner, a couch, Paul chilling out at the table. Everything's here for you guys to use. He's got this thing hooked up like you're at home. He's got a big giant freezer. He's got the microwave. He's got 2 different type of coffee makers. Full kitchen. I'm going through this kind of quick, guys. But yeah, it's all hooked up. So laundry. You guys want to do some laundry? Look how nice he is. Brown towels. What are brown towels for? Oh, it's hard for you guys to see. Brown towels by back door for drying boat seats if needed. Please hang back up by the back door. And speaking of back door, we got the back door that leads out to a beautiful, if I can even open it, we've got a back deck out here. He's got a little lock on it, so let me go ahead and unlock that little extra safety mechanism. Check it out. Look how beautiful it is back here. He's got the grill for y'all, and look, there's even a pond back there. I wonder if there's some big bass in there. What a beautiful sunrise. We've got the sunrise over Townsville. Let's go back inside and check out the bedrooms. We got a bedroom back here. Check it out. Got a bedroom with 2 double beds, big old walk-in closet right there. A couple spots to put your clothes, and the big old bathroom back here. Let's see, we flip on a light. Oh, I don't think Paul's been in here yet, thank goodness. Stand-up shower, big old tub to soak, and everything's here, guys. Towels galore. We got towels. Wait till you see this other bathroom. This is absolutely awesome. I couldn't believe how hooked up we really were when we got here, because he thought of everything to make this homey for you folks if y'all want to consider hitting them up. Of course, the links are going to be in the description below if you want to consider a spot like this. If you want to come down to Bugs Island, whether it be for tournaments, whether it be for fun. He's right in the heart of everything out here in Townsville. Look what he did. Where do you get this at a hotel? He's got your ibuprofen, your aspirin, your antacids. He's got red eye relief for your eyes, stomach relief, allergy relief, band-aids, peroxide. Look, this guy's ridiculous. And look at this. I mean, all day long. Towels, everything you could possibly need. Shower with the theme. You know it's a fishing cabin. It's like that. And another bedroom. That's where I'm crashing out. 2 more double beds. How many guys can sleep this joint? Little TV. All right, guys. So that's the deal. That's where I'm staying. I'm gonna put a link. I'm gonna put a link in the description below if you guys want to make a trip down to Bugs Island. If you need a place to stay, you want to be close to pretty much everything. This is where I'm at. This is where I'm staying. Paul, you ready to go do some fishing, dude?
Let's go.
We've been chilling and having such a good time, just enjoying this spot that we haven't even gotten out yet. We're gonna fish about tournament hours, but we're probably about a half an hour late with the time that we're getting out to start our practice day. But today is the first day of practice. We got one more day after today to get out there and see if we can get something done for the Saturday tournament. So you all just join us. We're gonna get on the road, put in, and start fishing. All right, made it to the boat ramp. 4-minute drive. That's all it was, right, Paul? Yep. 4-minute drive to the boat ramp. A nice boat ramp too. No ramp fee. From our little fishing cabin, we just drove 4 minutes, got to this beautiful boat ramp, all hooked up right here at the Hiberia Boat Access. This is on Hiberia Road out here in Townsville. So there's a big old parking lot. This is no rinky-dink little free boat ramp for you to bounce your boat down. This is a legit spot. Got Paul here all hooked up, getting the Ranger ready to go. We're ready to get up there and do a little fishing. From what I can tell, it is a calm, pristine, beautiful day. There's not a breath of wind out here. The water clarity is nice. It's actually pretty clear back here in Little Nutbush Creek. We're in Little Nutbush, and the lake is looking beautiful today. It's gonna be gorgeous, absolutely pristine. 74 to 78 degrees today. By late afternoon, they're talking about it getting into the high 70s. So we've got a little bit of high pressure, obviously real bluebird skies. So the fish have been biting down here at Bugs Island. So we're anxious to get out and see if we can get some of the big ones to bite. All right, we are in the water, and boy, is that a sign of the times of what? Look at all that pollen on the water, folks. So we may have clear water, but we got enough pollen on the water obscure the view. So there's probably a few fish up on the beds. What's the water temperature looking at like right now? Oh boy, it's 59.4 degrees in the morning, folks. There will very likely be some fish on the beds at this point. It'll be a mixed bag of pre-spawn bass fishing, some spawning fish. Who knows what we're going to find out here, but we're going to hopefully find them in general and figure out what we're trying to do here for the first BFL of our season. All right, we made it to the first stop. We got some color to the water, so I wasn't sure what we were going to be dealing with. Coming out of a little nut bush. We didn't go far, but this is a seek and find mission. Here's a tricky thing. You know, I'm the co-angler. Paul's the master boater over here who's fishing as a boater in this BFL. Honestly, when it's this time of year, we're trying to shake fish off to do a fishing video during a practice day for a tournament. It's a little unusual. We're not going to want to catch a lot of fish. We want to catch a lot of fish, but we don't want to catch a lot of fish because we want to save those fish for Saturday. So we're going to see what happens and whether we're going to be flipping the bushes, throwing moving baits. We got an arsenal out here. It's pre-spawn bass fishing, guys, with potential fish on the beds. So it's going to be an interesting day. Y'all just hang tight. Let's see what we can come up with. We'll try to keep you entertained with the goings on. And I can tell you this, you're going to be seeing this video after the tournament. So the first day of our practice, it's going to be after Saturday when I post this video. Of course, got to keep things a little bit on the down low, not give away everything we're trying to do here, but you'll at least see what we did to get prepared for what's coming this Saturday. One more time, folks. There's the pollen. We got all kinds of springtime stuff going on here, and the water looks like the water depth, I should say the water has come back off the banks a little bit. Looks like it was up for a little while, but the water's come down. We're throwing up into some real shallow water. Look what Paul's doing. Paul's throwing a buzz bait in the springtime. The water temps are over 60 degrees back here in this way up this creek with some stained water, so he's doing a little search and find mission. I got myself a KVD 1.5, exact same one I was fishing last time I was out here on Kerr. So a little black back with a chartreuse body, and let's do a little pre-spawn bass fishing, see if there's any fish up on beds. We wouldn't know if there are beds one way or another because it is murky. We got some stained water, so let's just see if we can try not to pop them, but at the same time pop them. Oh, I just got bit again. That's a second bite, guys. I just got two little taps on the square bill. So I got 2 bites so far. Paul had a swirl come up on his buzzbait. So yeah, we've got a couple active fish in here. It could be anything. It could be a little bluegill or a what do you call it, a little white perch in here, but 2 pretty hard taps so far on my square bill and a swirl on the buzzbait. So we've only been at it for about 10 minutes now. So up shallow are some fish. It's going to be hard to shake off a fish if it wants to eat my square bill. I could be throwing this with some super dull hooks, I guess, if I want to, but it's a gigantic lake, guys, and it's only the first day of practice. So if I bring a couple fish in, we're not going to hurt anybody's feelings. We're not going to, you know, damper our options and results for Saturday. So we'll just see if we can catch some fish. Probably bring a few in the boat inevitably, but you know, so far a couple taps on a square bill is not a bad deal. This 1.5 is being thrown on 12-pound test Seagar in Vizex fluorocarbon, guys. And there's my custom speed stick. This is the specific to square bill crankbaits. It's a 6'9", medium heavy, moderate fast. That's a Lew's Tournament Pro G, absolutely silky smooth reel. Great setup for a square bill. So there's my arsenal of the day. Paul's got, like I said, his buzz bait. I think he's got like a medium heavy. He's got 30-pound test braid over there and a high-speed reel, making it happen. So there's a little bit of what's going on with the tackle and how we got things set up. Now, doesn't that look pretty back in there? Look at that shade pocket, way back up in that shallow pocket. Tell me there's not a potential bed back there. Fish cruising around in the shallows, waiting to eat a buzz bait or a square bill. So that's where we're going. We worked around this point. We had bright sunshine beating it down. Couple little taps, but we're anxious to see what a nice shady pocket like this is going to do in the morning. Oh, that's a bite. Another one. And I didn't even pull on it, folks. I'm telling you, I'm getting some hard. I don't know if Paul, am I that disciplined? I swear, I never thought I'd be that disciplined in my life. That's 3 taps where I just let it bounce, and I somehow put it in my head that if I get a bite, I'm gonna just do my best to not pull back on it. Paul, do you mind if I catch a fish? Oh, Paul gives me permission to catch fish because remember, I'm a co-angler. Nothing about what I'm doing today is going to affect the way I roll on Saturday. Paul's got one on a buzzbait. Yep. Paul has just got one on a buzzbait. Look at that. Nice keeper, Paul. Now, that's a hard thing to shake off when you get a buzzbait fish. Just swing them in here. That's a nice size rod. Look at that tournament fish. Nice, brother. That's awesome. We've been fishing for what? 10 minutes, 15 minutes. We got to measure it. We got to know if that's 14, but that's a nice fat little fish. And what did I just say, guys? We're going to come back in here and we're going to hit this shade, and it's the first topwater fish I've seen in 2019, and definitely your first topwater fish, right? Yeah. Nice job. That's what we talked about last night.
Yeah, 14.
14, so there's a keeper. Toss her back, put her back in there. The faster we put her back, the quicker she'll recover, and maybe you'll be able to come back and get her on Saturday. Yeah, there could be, and that's what Paul just said. That could be the male on top of a bed. So Paul, I wouldn't be throwing that buzzbait back in that spot and right on a tree. Gosh, can you tell I'm excited? Give me some love. I absolutely love seeing a topwater buzzbait bite early spring, guys. Barely over 60-degree water temperature. If you all thought we were crazy to throw topwater this early, we're not. I'm telling you, that's a great search bait. If we get swirls, if we get a fish, it just tells a tale. And I'm telling you, topwater all day long. Isn't that great? All right, guys, let's keep fishing. All right, so the decision's been made. Guys, if we catch one keeper in a pocket like this, we're not sticking around. We're not gonna try and fish it anymore. There's a keeper in here, and we know exactly what kind of conditions we're in and what kind of water we're looking at. So we're gonna go ahead and try and match what we just did within 10, 15 minutes of fishing, but then just try to see if there's any bigger fish in other areas. So we're gonna cut out of here, make a lot of moves, and cover a lot of water. All right, spot number 2. We got some boat docks. There's not a lot of boat docks on Kerr, that's for sure, but we still have some really stained water. So we're fishing the shade over here. Paul popped one on the buzzbait, as you know, in the shade. So we're gonna hit some of the shady sides here, shady sides of the docks, and keep on working through the day. I'm still throwing my square bill. I got a backup black Texas rig 5-inch Senko over there. I'm not trying to catch them, I'm just trying to see if I can get something to tag it. It's a good follow-up bait, especially when you're fishing the tournament. If you get a blow up on a buzzbait or you feel something tap your square bill but you don't lock up, throwing that Senko in as the backup bait is always a good option. So I have that sitting there for that, and for the fact that I got some docks that I might want to skip that thing under. So we need to slow down a little bit. We've got everything we need to do it. All right, making another move. Those docks weren't happening. We know where we need to be. We just had to hit them. They were shady, they were pretty, but we know these fish are probably way back in these pockets. So we're gonna head back there and see if we can find another group of fish and learn something. All right, we are on the third stop, and we just came right back. Paul's third cast with a spinnerbait. It's not a keeper. It is a keeper. That's another nice keeper. Paul and I just got away from the docks. We came farther back, exactly where we knew we needed to go. He's got some sores on it too, doesn't he? That's a real rough looking fish, but you know what? Measure it out, because it's almost exactly the same size, maybe a little fatter than the first one. Yep. Spinnerbait fish in stained water way back, and we knew it. We spent maybe a little too much time over by that dock. 14 and a half? No, right at 14. Killer, second keeper. And if we hadn't wasted the time on those docks, it's not wasted time, it's all a learning thing, but if we had just come right back to where we know we should have been, that's 2 keepers, literally. Yeah. Seriously, that's 2 keepers in 20 minutes of fishing, because we've been back here less than 5 minutes. Yeah. So if we hadn't hit the spot, that's where we're at. So Paul got 2 keepers, one on a spinnerbait and one on a buzzbait. And then we put up the buzzbait because the sun's higher, and it's warming these banks. So killer, Paul. Let's do some more. Power poles are awesome. Paul, I love your, no, I hate your power, Paul, I hate your power pole. Guys, the woes of the power poles. Look at that. Yeah, co-anglers have it bad with these power poles, guys. Tell me you haven't done that before. There goes my KVD 1.5. I got a couple more of them, but that's what happens when you don't pay attention and you sling your square bill at the wrong angle into a power pole. It happens all the time. Guys, that's the worst thing about power poles ever, is breaking your baits. That's okay. I got a few more chartreuse blackbacks. That actually happens to be the Excalibur. This is the Excalibur XCS 100. It's a silent also, so pretty much the same gig. Haven't thrown it in a while. Not quite as expensive. Got a heck of a deal on them. But I'm going to keep my rod tip a little high and try not to do such a back cast and break this one. So yeah, keep an eye out for those power poles, guys, if you're co-anglers. All right, here's the challenges of finding new spots. We're in it to win it when it comes to shallow water, guys. We barely have a foot and a half of water. So if I was in my Pelican Bass Raider, we'd be able to get back in there and play with that wood, but the water is so low. I didn't expect it to be this low. If we had another foot or so of water, we'd be able to get back there, no problem, but we're gonna have to just kind of cover this little flat right here. Really nice sandy bottom, and hope there's maybe a bed or two hiding under this sturdy water, because we're not getting into that wood back there. We've got some docks. We've got some more residential looking stuff on Kerr, which is kind of a rare scene. A lot of the times, ooh, I got a tap right there. A lot of times fishing on Kerr, you're out in the woods, but not here. So this is an interesting creek and a new one for me. Yeah, it's kicking now. Nice job. Awesome, man. That's, if it's a nice, is it a good one? What do you think, little guy? Oh, first dink of the day. Paul almost had his 4th fish. But here we go again. Wind is perfect. Guys, this is a brand new spot. And we got a little mini boat ramp right there. So we were talking about it coming in here. We got a nice little rocky boat ramp that had to hold the fish in this wind. And he got himself a spinnerbait fish, a dink. But you know what? We caught another fish on another spot. That is so cool. All right, keep rolling, Paul. Paul's killing it up there on the front of the boat. He's not giving me a chance of nothing. He's just sucking them up like a vacuum cleaner, but that's good. Paul's gonna be a boater. I'm gonna be the co-angler. If I'm lucky enough to get a limit on Saturday, I'll be just fine and dandy with that, but I'm just hoping Paul does well and actually has something to show for his efforts today in his first BFL of the year. There we go. Square bill fish, guys. My first fish of the day, and he ate my square bill, and he ate that little Excalibur. It's a dink, but I got me a fish. Isn't that cool? All right, guys. So here's my first fish on Kerr on the first day of practice for my BFL. So silent Excalibur, little square bill, about the same size as a KVD 1.5. And I got to get myself a keeper because Paul's got me beat for the day so far. All right, we got a couple dinks in this new spot, in this new territory Paul and I have never investigated before. But so we're going to roll out 2 dinks versus nothing but keepers. In the last few spots we hit kind of told the tale, so we're going to go hit another spot and try and find the big ones. Guys, the water on Bugs Island, Kerr Lake, Kerr is low. Water's really low out here. I'm burning a lipless crank right now. I got a red eye shad and the Rayburn Red two-tap tungsten deal going on because the water's still ultra stained, but we don't have a lot of cover to play with and flip and pitch and do all that. So Paul's up on the banks burning that spinnerbait. We got a nice little rocky point coming up, a little clay point. A mouth of something leading into something. I've never been back here either, so we're gonna see what we can come up with back here and see if we can make it happen. Dude, I think I got a nice fish on a lipless. I think I do. Is this a fish? Hold on, you're moving the boat so I can't tell. I sure do. I got myself a fish on my red eye shad right up on some rocks here, guys. Check this out. Not a keeper, but here's my second fish, and I got on that beautiful bait. That's that 2-tap tungsten is awesome. I was just burning across those rocks. Again, just playing these cards, man. It's always a trip to come into new spots and see different things. And this little cut right here, obviously, there's it. Let me get that back. My hand's all slimed up. I love it. So this used to be some kind of bridge. I mean, look at this little narrow spot right here. You got all these pillars, basically all set up, old bridge and a real narrow cut, and I put it right up against some rocks and whacked myself a little fish. Fun. Absolutely just a great time trying new spots and definitely throwing myself a lipless crank. How deep's the water? That's it. Oh, there we go. I got whacked on the bank with my lipless, dude. I got crushed. That's awesome. Second fish in like 8 casts, guys. He's coming at me. I don't know how big it is, but it's another small one. Oh, I think it's a white perch. Nope, it's a bass. It ain't a keeper, but that's number 2. We're starting to pop some fish, but look at the belly and look how pale in this stained water. Guys, I'm glad I picked up that lipless. That's fun. There's my 3rd fish. I'm moving up in the world. It's a little bit bigger, but just catching some fish is a good thing right now. So we got to just upgrade, guys. We got to upgrade. I got a crappie. Is that a crappie, dude? I threw it at the gar. I was just messing with the gar. I got a giant slab crappie on my lipless crank right on the bank, guys. Look at the size of that beauty. He's amazing, Paul. Look at the size of that thing. Dude, I got to throw him in the live well. We've got a full kitchen. We've got a full-blown everything we need to cook this beauty up. A little salt and pepper and butter, dude, and I got a beautiful Kaiser roll. Why not, right? Guys, that beauty is coming home with me. There's a Kerr Lake big old slab. Isn't that beautiful? All right, on a lipless, right on the bank. Crazy. Okay, he's going to live well. You do have a fish on? You're being really tame about it. Oh, it's tiny. What is it? Oh, it's a tiny pickerel. Now, this is funny because it's a tiny one. I need you guys in the comments below to tell me what they call these guys down here at Kerr. Look at that. You snagged them right in the back. I think they call these jacks down here. Is that what they do? Look how tiny it is. You snagged a tiny little pick. Pull it up out of here. Are you off the rocks?
Trying to get off.
We're kind of on some real shallow stuff here, guys. Look at this pretty little, yeah, it's just a little jack. I think they call them jacks, but of course it's just a chain pickerel. At least that's what I call them. Yeah, he did actually eat it. Well, we're catching fish. That's not certainly what we want back here. I always thought that once I see those in an area, I always want to roll out, but that's a tiny one. So, and we just caught some fish nearby, so bass that is. Let's just keep on chucking and winding. Paul just got himself a dink under the bridge. Guys, we have 67-degree water temperature way back up this creek. We're wondering if we've got post spawners. We don't know one way or another. We can't tell if there's beds or not. Bottom line is we're throwing some crankbaits right under the bridge on the rocks, and that was the third cast. Paul's throwing like a DT10, I think it was, right? DT10, I got a DT6 just going shallow, and we got another fish, another dink. Haven't caught a keeper since a little bit earlier, so the mission's still on to find some big fish and at least some keeper size. There we go. Got him right off the rocks, brother. Decent, little guy, yep. All right, I got my crankbait fish off the rocks, little guy. So that's one for me, one for Paul, but it's dink fest lately, guys. We're catching fish. It's fun, but it's not what we're looking for a tournament. But just to get one tells me something. There it is, back she goes. And I went to the DT6, a beautiful color, that mustard, so that's what he ate, right off the rocks, super shallow. Did you or not? You got one? Nice. Well, everything's a big one to you, bud. Instead of Paul saying I got one, oh, it's a white bat. Yeah, it's a white perch. There it is. There's your big one. That's a fourth species though, buddy. Yeah. We're struggling, guys, you know, with this bluebird sky and with this crazy high pressure. I'm telling you, the bite is off a little bit with the water being so low and nothing up on the banks. We haven't seen any beds because it's so murky. Even where we could maybe see the bottom, we didn't see any bedding activity. We don't know what's going on out here. We're learning. We're trying to learn anyway, but things are rough. We're out on a creek off a main creek, and we're now fishing the main points because nothing's been shallow up in the pockets later in the day with the bluebird skies. So we're just plugging away. It's getting a little later. It's almost 2 o'clock, so we only have about a half an hour or maybe barely an hour of what would be tournament hours. So let's keep on plugging, see if we can figure it out. I have a fish, Paul. I got a fish right on the point like we said we would. That's awesome. This feels like it's got I don't know yet. It's swimming with me. Oh, it's a nice one. That's a nice one. What did I say on the island? Guys, I finally got myself a keeper, and it's a real nice one on my DT6. My little hot mustard color. He ate it good. He ate it real good. So there's my first keeper. Guys, it's a little late, but it's still tournament hours. So I'm hooked up with my first keeper of the day. And we were struggling, and I said to Paul, Paul, we have absolutely got to get out to the mouth of these creeks with these water temperatures pushing 65, 67 degrees. We don't know if these fish are post spawn or they backed off because the water temps, not to mention, I should say water temps, I mean 3 feet. I don't know how much do you think this water level went down? 3 feet plus since the last time we were out here? It's crazy. I got to get some pliers. He ate the heck out of it. So let me get these, give me a second, guys. Let me take this out. I'm just gonna give it a measure job real quick. There we go. All right, we got the mustard, hot mustard color out. Let's give it a measure job. I think that fish is pushing 16 inches, I'm guessing. All right, let's see what we got here. Just for entertainment's sake, I think we got about a 2.5 pounder here. Wow, 16 and a half, almost 17 inches actually, 16 3/4. Beauty, a little bit of a sore on it, going back. Did you? Nice. Good job, Paul. That's Paul's fourth keeper. On the points. I'm so glad. Nice. Might bury, maybe. I don't think it's going to make it, guys. We got another fish, though. I love it. It's been a while, guys. I think that might make it, bud. I think it's a little short, a little chunky. Yeah, it's short. Well, Paul, we've done pretty well, at least finding fish considering how slow it got and how low this water is, and came out of the creeks and fishing the not out of the creeks, out of the arms of the creeks, and fished the main points of this creek. We're pretty far back still, guys, but we're still finding a few. It'd be interesting to know what's out there, you know. Oh, okay. Guess what, guys? It's a second cast on another point, and I locked into another one. It's a little guy, though. But that's awesome. We're figuring something out, at least where some fish are, and we're catching fish. That's fun. All right, so DT6 does it again. Little guy. All right, this is Paul and I's last round of chucking and winding. We've made our way back to home base. We're just around the corner from the boat ramp. Paul's got a square bill on. I'm throwing a DT6 still, but I changed my deal to a little more natural shad pattern because the water's a lot clearer over here where we're fishing. So we'll see if we can pick up one more fish. We've learned a lot today, and it's been about full tournament hours. So we're gonna get out of here shortly. Let's just throw a few more casts and see if we can pick up one more fish. All right, folks, we're back at the boat ramp. We're calling it a day. Not a bad day for our first day of practice for our first FLW BFL of our season down here at Bugs Island. Learned a whole lot. We learned this lake is low. We learned there's gonna be very limited cover to pitch and flip, and some of those moving baits might be the ticket. But tomorrow's a new day. We're gonna try a few new things, hit a few new spots, hopefully do what we gotta do to learn what we need to learn so that come Saturday we can have a successful tournament. So folks, as always, I appreciate you joining me. As always, I appreciate you subscribing. Until we meet again, over and out.